Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another brand new video. I hope you're doing okay and have been enjoying your week so far. And today we are continuing talking about Season 2 updates that are due to get released now for September. And we're gonna today be covering about the characters that are due to receive some changes now. So we've got a lot of things we can go through and cover. So we're gonna jump into the guys, but I really hope you will be enjoying the video. So the first person, or the first character really, that will be receiving a change is d.va. Now if you remember from Season 1, she was actually one of the main characters who received a massive buff from the developers because they felt she was a little bit too lost. Not a lot of people tend to choose her within the support. Now she is due to receive a nerf here, and the nerf is going to be on the defense matrix. It does say here, after the defense matrix has been activated, it will begin to regenerate following a 1 second delay instead of the 0.5 seconds that they had for Season 1. And the reason they're gonna do that they felt that the defense matrix was too efficient when tapped repeatedly instead of being held. So now the recovering delay will be matching the ability cooldown. Now I don't really see this as a bad thing, guys. She's doing really well at the moment as a character, so this change I don't think is going to be too much of a worry. It's just going to give everybody a bit of a more chance to obviously do some kind of attack, and that she's not going to be too OP. So the second character that is due to be changed is Hanzo. Now you know already Hanzo is a very powerful range character, but they do want to change him a little bit, so there's going to be two changes for him. The first change will be that Hanzo will now experience a 30% decrease in speed while aiming instead of the 40%, and the maximum projectile speed has now been increased by 30%. And the reason they are due to do this change is that they felt that even if he's a very powerful damage range character, when it came to medium distance, it didn't really have the same chance like everybody else. So by increasing the projectile speed, they also gave him a little bit more of a reliable range. So I think this may be a very good thing, but at the same time he can be a little bit maybe too OP now by giving him this range as well, plus having a humongous damage take already. So we have to see how well that will go down in the games. So the next character in line is going to be Mei. As you know, Mei is a character we both love and hate in many different ways. And Mei is going to receive a change on her ultimate Blizzard ability. And what they're saying here now, that the Blizzard projectile now pierces barriers, and the radius from it will be increased from an 8 meters radius to a 10 meters radius. And the reason they are doing this change, they felt that they were a little bit too difficult to use and being effective by other opponents. Obviously if there was a barrier in the way, she couldn't really use her ultimate, or it was just wasting it away for no reason. Plus with the radius, it didn't really give the same distance. So by increasing that and plus allowing her to do this barrier piercing now, I think Mei is going to be a very dangerous character yet again, both in regular plays and competitive plays. It's going to be really nice to see how well that's going to go down in the game. So McCree is now also going to be receiving a change. He's actually going to be a little bit nerfed, and the nerf for that is going to be on his Deadeye ability. It will now drain over 0.25 second period instead of a displaying 50% reduction on an ultimate meter when activated and 0% when confirmed. And the reason they are doing that is that they felt that if his ability were interrupted or he died, it automatically would go back to 50%, so they only meant that he only had to go halfway to reuse that ability. And I felt it was a little bit too quick compared to everybody else, so by nerfing him a little bit, it gives everybody yet again a bit of a fair use. So we have to see. I don't think this is going to be a bad thing, but some people who maybe are very into McCree and playing his character might feel they are removing something good. I don't know, but I generally feel that is an alright thing to nerf. So next one in line to receive a change is Mercy. The change for her would be her healing beam. The healing per second has now been increased by a 20% increase, and her resurrection ability has now also been changed. It says that the resurrection allies will be able to maneuver after 2.25 seconds quicker, so it's also been reduced from the 3 seconds that we had before. And the reason they're doing that is first and foremost to give their allies a chance to move away quickly from the fight, but also to give Mercenary a higher chance to survive when she's activating her ability. So I think that's a very good thing to see they've actually done this. I know there's been a lot of reports about that and feedback that they felt it was a little bit too delayed to be able to use her ability, so it's really nice to see that they've taken that into counter. So Genji is actually one of the characters who's going to be receiving one of the biggest changes here at the moment. And first and foremost, it says that Genji double jump will no longer reset when wall climbing. His dash will no longer deal damage to traps like Widowmaker's Venom Mine or Junkrat's Steel Trap, and it will no longer bypasses Junkrat's Steel Trap. His Swift Strike will also be changed. It will no longer interrupt quick melee attacks, and his Dragon Blade duration of Genji's ultimate has been reduced from an 8 second to 6 seconds. So what they said here about him, they said that Genji felt a little bit too difficult to pin down, and what they want to do is to like balance it out for his speed, so they gave everybody yet again this fair chance. So obviously Strike will no longer cancel the recovery time for a quick melee attack, so players will no longer be able to get a free melee attack before using the Swift Strike. And then obviously his Dragon Blade duration was long enough that it often felt too difficult or reasonable to counter. So obviously it comes back to it again. It didn't feel that it was fair yet again as to me as an opponent. So by doing these changes, yet again it's going to be fair for everyone. And I think mostly it is because obviously Season 2 is such a huge change within the competitive side of the gaming. So I think this obviously has a huge input, so he's yet again not so OP against everybody else. Lucio will also receive a nerf. It's not a big one, it's going to be on the Amp It Up, and it's going to be that the boosting of the movement speed has been decreased by 30%. So instead of being 100%, it's now going to be 70%. And the reason they're doing that is that because a lot of people tend to choose him before everybody else because of his speed boost. So by reducing it a little bit now, maybe it gives a little bit more chance for other characters to be chosen as healers. Roadhog is also going to be changed, and it's going to be the same thing. There's going to be a nerf on him, and they are changing the chain hook. And what the change is going to be there is just that if the hook target isn't in Roadhog's line of sight, when retracting the hook, they will be moved back to the position where they were originally hooked. And the reason they're doing that is just there's been a bit of a problem with it when it got hooked, and maybe it was likely doing like a slide along the walls or something, or just shot out up in the air, or just went out the side of the map. So by giving yet again a fair use, they're just changing his chain hook, so if you don't get hooked straight away, you'll obviously go back to the original position that you were from the first beginning. So the last character to actually receive a change, both a nerf and a buff, is Zenyatta. And the first thing they're gonna change is Orb of Discord. The amount of damage amplified by a target with Orb of Discord has been decreased from 50% to 30%. And Orb of Destruction, the damage has been increased from 40 to 46. And the reason they're doing that, he also received kind of a big buff back in Season 1. And they feel he's in a pretty good place at the moment, but the amount of strength that he's got behind him on Orb of Discord, it's made him to be a first pick again above everybody else, because he can do both a lot of damage and also take away a lot of damage from their enemies. So making it yet again a little bit fair for everyone, they've also gonna nerf him a little bit from that, which you can see why, because I played him quite a lot and I've seen a huge change in him, so I can't really complain in that way. But I can understand as well that maybe some people are gonna say, well, it's not really fair because maybe they're pulling back again to not to be so useful. But we're gonna have to see, guys. It's all gonna be an update and test. We'll have to see how the PTR is gonna turn out. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. It's yet again, it's a lot of information. I hope I covered everything okay for you and it wasn't too confusing. If there is anything you want to let me know, obviously drop me down a comment down below. If you really enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, obviously give me a thumbs down. But until the next one, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to check the video out yet again. And until the next one, I hope you do okay. And see ya.
Soldier right, we'll hide in plain sight.